Hi, ThinkerNetters. I'm Tom Knoll, president of CIMI Corporation. We've heard again the flaps about maybe Apple's going to do an Apple TV, or maybe Apple's thinking about doing an Apple TV. Maybe this is a good time to start thinking about the question of whether Apple could do an Apple TV, meaning, is there a viable business model for web television of any sort? So to find that out, let's take a look at some of the issues, some of the barriers, and whether they can be resolved. Barrier number one is that there's a bandwidth problem. If you're going to deliver basically 6-7 hours a night of video programming on an on-demand basis to an audience of 20 or 30,000 people in a given community, it's going to take a formidable amount of delivery capacity to make that happen. And given the fact that the delivery capacity needed is going to have to come from the people who are typically providing channelized competition for this online thing, it's hard to see how that exactly is going to come about from a business model perspective. Then the second issue is commercials. Right now, about 3% of commercial revenue is obtainable in comparable internet advertising. Advertisers tend to use targeting not to increase the value of their ads, but to reduce the population of people who they advertise to, and therefore to reduce their cost. So the net of this is that there's a lot of money that would have to be replaced if we moved out of traditional broadcast commercial-oriented models. Then the third problem is price. If you run the numbers on a sort of an iTunes model for the delivery of video content to a television replacing channelized TV, you've got to compare that total to the cost of something like satellite television or a basic cable subscription. And if you do that, it's very difficult to come up with a value for price that matches the cost base that we would get from legacy services. So the net of this is not going to be an easy road for Apple to hoe. Thank you. I'm Tom Knoll.